What's up, everyone? Coach Arvin here, and we're going to talk about the 3 words that you're using on a daily basis that is crippling your confidence. And we're going to talk about 3 steps that we can use to overcome those 3 words. Now, your confidence is directly correlated to your ability to figure shit out, to be a problem solver. When we don't know what to do, that's when we start to struggle with the belief that we have in ourselves about what we're capable of. But when we're in a position where no matter what comes our way, we're going to be able to figure it out, what do you think that does to our confidence? Have you ever been in a situation where the problem needed to be solved and multiple people didn't know what to do, but you did? You solved the problem? How did that make you feel? Pretty damn capable, right? Like, man, if I could do this, what else can I do? It's a great question to ask. So if we can put ourselves in a position where we are always tapping into that confidence, well, then our strength of confidence begins to build, doesn't it? That confidence muscle gets stronger, doesn't it? Because we're practicing it, we're training it. So what are those 3 words? Do you know? Do you know what the 3 words are? I'll tell you. I don't know. I don't know. How many people, maybe yourself, but how many people do you know that is their automatic response to every single obstacle that comes their way? What are we going to do here? I don't know. There's not even a thought process behind it. It's just the automatic response. And if that's your default, if your immediate response to anything complicated is I don't know, well, that's just a version of giving up. And if we're giving up at every time an obstacle comes our way, what does that do to our confidence? I'll tell you what it's not doing. It's not elevating it. It just continues to tell ourselves that we're not capable, that we're not good enough, that we're not intelligent, that we just can't figure shit out. So how do we overcome this obstacle? This automatic response of I don't know. Let's break it down into 3 steps. Step 1, you got to become hyper aware of the things that you're saying. And not only that, become hyper aware of the things the people around you are saying. Are you surrounding yourself with a bunch of people that don't know how to do anything? Well, maybe those aren't the best influences for you. That's another conversation. Let's talk about what's going on in here and what's coming out of here. We need to be hyper aware of those 3 words coming into our mind and coming out of our mouths. And once we can tune into that, then we can start the process of, well, what do we do instead? And that will be the second part, is now that I've become hyper aware of the words I don't know, then I need to make the internal commitment that I'm no longer going to use those words. It's one thing to be aware of it. It's another thing to say, I'm going to do something about it. And that applies to anything that we are trying to change here in our lives, right? We can become aware of it, but it's also got to be supported with the commitment to do something about it. And if we're not 100% in line with that commitment, then we're probably not going to follow through on the tasking. So we become hyper aware of the words that we're thinking and that's coming out of our mouth. And we made that commitment of, I'm no longer going to be an indecisive person. I'm going to be a problem solver. I'm going to make sure that I am a capable person. And I want to make that commitment to no longer use the words I don't know. And the third step here would be, well, what am I going to say instead? The first thing you do is you pause. You pause for a second so you can think. Okay, here's a question that's come my way. Here's a situation that's come my way. And I'm immediately not sure what the solution is. So give me a second. And then if you need more time, you can repeat the question. Or you can state what the obstacle is. So now we're just putting it out there and we're actually having some intention behind the thought of what are we going to do here. And then we can kind of scroll through our mental Rolodex of solutions. Well, if I have to make a decision here, what is that decision going to be? Maybe it's wrong, maybe it's not, but I'm going to make a decision. and then you act on it. Start doing that and watch how things start to change for you in just how you show up in life, how you start to feel in different situations. Because when you're in situations where you're thinking that a question may be asked or an obstacle might pop up that you're not going to know the answer to, you're not going to want to put yourself in those situations. You're going to be closed off. You're not going to communicate. You're going to try to blend into the background, right? Like, oh, don't see me because I don't want to be put on the spot and not know the answer. But when you show up and you're with the identity that, I'm just the kind of person that figures shit out, then things begin to change. Now you might be asking, well, what if I really don't know the answer to the question? Well, obviously that's going to come up all the time. So what are some alternate solutions? And that becomes the whole art of problem solving. Maybe the answer isn't readily available. That's why we have to do the work. Well, how do we find the answer? Because I don't know is no longer an option. I don't know becomes I'm going to figure it out. I'm not sure what the solution is just yet, but I'm going to figure it out. This isn't my area of expertise. I really don't know much about this subject. But you know who does? This person. So I'm going to reach out to that person and have a conversation and say, here's the dilemma. What would you recommend? What's your perspective on this situation? And see if I can figure out the solution by working with somebody else that may have a little bit more knowledge in that area. And then while I'm doing that, I'm learning. I'm continuing to grow. Now, next time a problem similar to this shows up, I'll be equipped with the tools to solve that problem. Because I'm a problem solver, right? Just like you. That's your new identity. I'm the kind of person that figures shit out. Now I invite you to go test the waters with this new tactic of strengthening your mental fitness, of strengthening your confidence muscle. By switching from an indecisive person, a person that's maybe afraid of being wrong, afraid of looking foolish if you give the wrong answer, so it's just easier and safer to say, well, I don't know. I mean, shit, how many times do you actually know the answer and you don't say it because you just got that hint of fear that you might be wrong? Like you're going to look foolish or something, so you don't even say. You say, I don't know, when you really do. I mean, that's even worse. When you do know the answer, you do know the solution, and you don't offer it because you're that afraid of other people's opinion, you're that afraid of being wrong. We got to sharpen that skill. I'm the kind of person that figures shit out. I'm the kind of person that offers my opinion. I'm the kind of person that asks for help if I need it. But first I'm going to try to figure things out on my own to see if I have the knowledge inside of me to find the solution. And when you show up with that type of identity, the identity of somebody that it doesn't matter what obstacle comes my way, I'm going to figure it out. Well, life becomes a lot more fun from that perspective, doesn't it? Because nothing's going to stress you out. Nothing's going to give you anxiety. Because it's like, yeah, that's a challenge. That's an obstacle. I don't know what the answer is right now, but I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to hit my resources. I'm going to explore opportunities to find the answer. But I will solve this problem. So run with this one. Have some fun. Bring somebody in with you on this and treat it like a challenge. If you have a significant other or a close friend or somebody that you spend a lot of time with, have a little challenge with them. Say, look, for the next 7 days, neither one of us are allowed to use the words, I don't know. And see if you can pull that off. Because if you can't say, I don't know, or any version of it, and that applies to, I'm not sure, or anything else that replicates the I don't know verbiage. If you're no longer allowed to use those words, what are you going to have to do? You're going to have to figure shit out, aren't you? And the more we strengthen that skill, guys, the stronger it gets. And I'm going to keep telling you that and keep repeating it because repetition is the mother of skill. And the more you hear it and the more you practice it, the better you get at it. And the better you get at things, the more confident you get. Because you're the kind of person that figures shit out. You get it? So become hyper aware of those 3 words. Make that internal commitment to yourself that I'm no longer going to be an indecisive person. I'm going to commit to finding solutions whenever I possibly can, with the intention of building my confidence so I can feel better about myself. And then you have to go out and find those solutions. That's the fun part. Let's solve some problems. Let's figure things out. I mean, we used to love to do those things as kids, didn't we? Put together puzzles, create scenarios, and just play them out and figure out what the solutions are going to be. Use our imagination. Use our friends. Use other resources. Make it fun. It's all about how you look at it. Yeah, I'm not sure what the answer is right now, but the fun part is figuring it out. So I'm off. I'm off on the challenge of finding this solution. Find some joy in that. Find some enthusiasm. Find some excitement. Take pride. Take pride in the idea, in the fact, in the belief that your identity is now, I'm the kind of person that figures shit out.